Hello, comrades. Once again, it's Premier Rever. Back to order you about. I'm pretty excited about this episode. I want to get us building clothing, which I think we can do. I waited just a little bit, maybe half a month since the last episode, and our money went up very nicely. It sits there and stagnates a bit. It's like the bricks are just sort of paying for the economy. But then when we get the food and the other things coming in there, that's just like all bonus money. So that's great. So I'd like to be able to, hopefully we can do the same thing with clothes. We're going to have a few other challenges that we didn't have before. And the first one is going to be to pick a spot. And while I was waiting for things to happen, I think I picked a nice open location. You know, I think at the end of the last video I was talking about trying to shove it in, around town, but I thought, you know what, why don't we use buses like we did with the other and just come out this way? And I think this is kind of screaming for something like that. So, one more thing I want to do, because I mentioned it at the last one. This is named Colesk, right? But I want to delete that area. And I want to come over here and right smack in the middle of town, right, construction, name a city or an area. Let's say, what's this? The middle right there. And we don't want to call it, let's call it, as we said in the last episode, Rivergrad. There we go. Now we have Rivergrad. And we can come over here and do another one. Let's close that one. I don't know if this will cause any problems, but so this one can be Colesk. Oops. There you go, Colesk. May not be the way you say it, but the way we say it, right? So, one of the other things that has me pretty excited is I make these videos, sometimes a couple in a row, before I actually process them. And it's just, we've grown, I mean, we have a lot more houses after just, you know, this rebuild of town. We've taken the time to build up our population, so I think we're in much better shape now. So much so that as we put roads down, I'm going to tend to just put down asphalt roads. So let's get lined up so we can do straight. Probably show wireframe. Yeah, we got some hills here, don't we? So let's lower some terrain. I like to use the smallest one of this. We don't need to go over this way too much, but just in case we level off of there. Seems like that might be up a bit compared to right here. But this is certainly a bit high. I'm just going to kind of level this back side of it for now. Look if it looks good from over here. Like I said, I think that end's kind of high anyway. Not sure why cutting down trees sounds like a jackhammer, but alright, let's just see what happens if we use the levelly from up here. Yeah, see how that raised that up quite a bit? How big an area we need, and I think we should try to keep these things as close to there as we can. This looks like another little high spot there, but let's just see what the level does. I don't even know if we need to mess with that. Let's come behind here. Yeah, you know what? That's just annoying me ever so slightly. So just because the rest of it looks nice. And the end of that road doesn't look very good either, does it? Alright, I think I'm going too far. Which is known to happen. Which I guess you kind of have to be that kind of person. So we're just going to do a regular asphalt road. And we'll just bring it out, you know, past where I think we could possibly want it. Follow the grid there. So there we go. So now we have an asphalt road, and I say, let's just get these guys, well, now let's place the things, and then we're actually going to probably end up, here's what I've found. I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but you place the road, it chops it up into little pieces, you delete all of the connectors while you're still just planning things, you relay the road, they come and do it in one big shot, and then you can reconnect all your little bits and pieces, hopefully. It seems to work pretty well. So what do we need? We need to do, not that, we need to do various industries and think about the clothing factory. So I would assume we need 2.4 fabric, and we need 20 crops to get 5 fabric. So more or less, we're going to need 10 crops per clothing. So my vote is, well, the question is we're going to be, do we put this one here? Let's see what makes sense. See that? Oh no, it doesn't have to go a long way. This could go here, and it's the darn message. Yeah, there's definitely factory connectors there. And I don't know, I don't need any more than one with what I'm thinking of here. So, and the reason I'm saying this is if the clothes are coming out, there would be a slight benefit to having a shorter trip, right? As opposed to, we're not really going to be taking fabric out of this. So if we were to, but now we have to drive the corn further in, or do we? No, because the corn will go into, let's go over here. Corn's going to go into a warehouse. So what I need to do is make sure that we can get to this warehouse. Hopefully we can turn that corner. It's not exactly as straight of a, if we do this, well, yeah, see, I can't turn it this way because then it doesn't, you know, so let's just see. I think I can turn the road to get onto the road from there. So let's just see. We'll test it right away. Okay, we'll do asphalt. Yes. Okay. It doesn't look like I could go much closer either, so we're just going to deal with it. And while we're in this roads kind of tab, let's... like that. Like that. Like that. Okay, it likes that. Alright, so now, if we go back to construction... Here, if you look, warehouses can hold crops, clothes, fabric, so, and chemicals. So we'll be able to drive everything into here and or just buy it into here, which is likely that we might just buy it into here. Sort of depends on the price difference between here and here, which I don't know if it'll be that much, but, and it's probably, I don't know, we'll just see. It's probably not worth driving it, I would guess. But so now what we need to do is actually make fabric. Fabric is going to need, so we have, see, this is nice. So I wish, I don't know, I wish there was, I hope they come up with different shapes, you know? So we can have a relatively short factory connection. Looks like those line up. I don't want to get so close I can't get a people trail in there. I guess they could go in the driveway, can't they? So now let's get another driveway. No, we already have a driveway. Oh, another connector of buildings. All right, so now all three of those should be interconnected. We should be able to either buy directly or bring like the corn in from right down the road there. I hopefully that, I'm kind of hoping they don't drive the long way around, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't think this will ever be the most efficient setup, but heck, if we can make enough clothes to not buy them ourselves, I think as time goes on, that'll be a big benefit. Now the problem is we don't have any people. So what I would like to do is get a bus stop. Now, do we have the bus? Yeah, let's put it this way. I'm questioning... I always question whether it's better to have the bus drive further or have the people walk further. in this case, let me spin it around, because I think if we ever add another industry, it's going to be to the right, which is the south. So let's move it up close so it's not in anybody else's way. Can we move it closer? Alright, there we go. So now we should be able to attach. Let's just make sure a footpath will go. Yeah, see, a footpath will go. Another one can come out there, yeah. It doesn't even really need to go there. It just needs to come up here. There we go. So I'm just going to X that out. Now this splits all this stuff in half, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like, we could just demolish that. And, well, you know what, really, we're just going to go along and demolish that. So now we also know how long this road needs to be, not that. Let's make sure we can see. So I'm coming out this way, swing around. You know, this is going to be, I don't want to take it any further than the end of the building. There we go. So let's get construction crew right on that. So we already got 70 grand. Let's see, let me look at the money. Look, 14 grand so far this month, so nice. And then again, if we can get this industry up and going, that'll be even better. So now we have a bus stop. The problem is we don't have any real place to pick up people. And I was looking around town as to what would make sense. And we just don't have much room to put one in over here. You know, I've kind of already put the hospital and the kindergarten, not that we couldn't take those out, but then we don't have many people here right at the moment either. We'll definitely plan on expanding and getting more people kind of around this whole thing, but they're not there yet. And we're at yet now. So what I was thinking of is we could probably horseshoe in one right here. But it's going to take a little bit of electrical work, which means I would like to pause time for a second. And the reason it will take a little electrical work is more for the cosmetics, I would have to say. And then by that I mean I want to raise and lower this ground so it's not totally unattractive. And if there was a way to temporarily cut the power. And I also want to probably get rid of this, right, so that it's maybe even this. So we can raise this whole area up as far as we need to. Probably, I'd like to have the front of the building sticking out this way. So let's just get to it. Let's shrink this down. How much we want to raise this. Where that road is, but the road's really not going anywhere at this point. Would one day we relocate more houses in here? It's certainly possible. Sort of depends on what we do down here, but there's no doubt I'd like to put the houses, you know, kind of like right along here. Now, I don't think we necessarily need to get into all of this. I think I'd like to make it where we can have a road coming up here. Let's just raise all this up till it starts looking whitish. So we can't raise that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there is no road down there, so we might as well make that kind of level, right? I'm not sure how far out we need to go, but this is looking like a nice ballpark. It's really going crazy with the controller here. Oh, because I got that. I'm trying to scroll. Can't really see. Wasn't a good perspective. So this looks high. That looks low. That looks fixed. Hopefully that'll fix itself. a little bit more. Did we get into all of this? Maybe at least bring it up till it sort of looks normal with that other side there. Alright, levelly time. Yeah, so it's lowering that down. A lot. Okay, how's that look? Looks like a place we could build houses now, doesn't it? Now the question is, well, before we worry about the wires, let's real quick. So we probably should even just delete this road, huh? They won't have kindergarten. Well, you know what? We'll just delete it and then let's just delete it and then auto rebuild it. What? Really? Some other infrastructure. I can't see any other. Oh, this. I see it. There you go. Is that far enough? You know what? Maybe we're still paused. I don't want to stay paused too long because I feel like it's cheating, but I'm going to stick with our flats. There are brick flats that I noticed. You know, I kind of need that road in to make sure. No, we're delaying. Let's go back as far as we can, come forward. I see our path is attached, which is nice. Don't get citizens. Glad I saw that. Alright, that should be okay. So let's see. Let's get a road. What I'm thinking of is I think I'm better off with the road. Even if there's a pathway, like the road coming this way. Look at that, looks like heck. Who did that? Must have been some other guy. Certainly wasn't me having done things like that. So we're going to do probably a combination of roads, huh? But this should be coming into town here. Let's make sure. Can you get past there? Okay. How about at a different angle? Can you come in a little bit better this way? Too much angle, but we're getting there. Not enough angle. You don't like it, but you're going to do it. I thought I had it. Okay, I'll take it. I think I can snake this guy right down along here. He needs to go kind of far enough past this one. I'll give a nice little front yard for them. I might even want to. That'll be fine. Alright, so then this guy. So now here's where I'm talking about the detach and attach again. Not so. Like, we won't have to attach this one, but. And this one I don't mind attaching. So we're going to cut off our. I know what I'll do. So we're going to build this guy and this guy. No, you don't like that anymore? What if I go from here to there? No. What if I delete this? At least you came out and told me no. Oh, you know what? This is cutting back in. See, you can even tell from that road it like already created like a cut in there, which could cause us problems when we come back to do this guy. Can you go to the next one? I don't like that. Alright, so what we're gonna do. Oh, you know what, we could no, let's get this part done. Let's demolish it. So now we're going to redo this one. Watch how this works out. now that it's like, see how it's all smooth and you don't see any see how I have more choices? And I think this will be fine. I think it's just the, yeah, see, it was just the fact that it was, it doesn't give us many choices there, but there we go. So now if I escape, if I hit this, what we could do is just say, come here, just build you with money, build you with money. Do we just build him with money too? No, because we're playing. Yeah, we're gonna build him with money because I want to reattach this walkway here. Chady build with money. All right, now let's just play that long enough that they're built. Boom. Pause it real quick. Build with money. Oh, we don't want to pause it because we didn't put our power lines back in, did we? All right, so now, yeah, the rest let's run the power lines. We can put them back in because we've already lowered it. I think I'll put them right on the side. Yeah, do I? Yeah, I'm going to put them right back on the side of the hill there. Yep, right back where they were, just up a little higher. That looks fine. Yeah, build them with money too. And we should have power back for everybody. Right. Yep. Yeah, that's the only thing we broke, so yeah, just this snuck right through. Good. So now what we need to do is attach this up to town somehow. Did we end up creating another parallel road? Delete just a bit of this. Let's create, if we can, yeah, so that's, you know, people, we might have a crossroad here down the road. A little bit of a jonky around the booth, but hey, look, you know, even in real life, life's not perfect. We do have a little jonkiness with different sections. So these guys are still working on paving that because we paused them the whole time. And then when they get done, we'll have them pave this. And then we are ready to plop down a couple more houses. We're really, I think you guys see what's happening here. I lost my train of thought in the middle of the thought. Let's line this guy up. It just can't do it. You know what? I don't like that. Which really kind of messes this up. But that's okay, because I don't really want those in there right now. What I don't like is that I didn't put them up further. This one, why don't we sneak this one and then we can put that path right there. I like that better. Very good. So now what I want to do is let's delete all of this. Did I delete my power lines? Alright, stop. Yeah, this game is a little click happy with what, like you click through things, you don't even know. Let's get the power lines back up. Right? Build those with dollars. Play again. No real urgency here. This will be fancy street with sidewalks from there to there. So now it's just one nice section, at least in that point. And then we can just attach all these later on, which is also another reason you know, the closer they are, the harder they are to attach. So putting them in a nice row with that first one so what am I doing? This, escape. Let's just, for the sake of not crashing the game a bunch of times, attach this path up. And I'm not going to attach this one, but we can even build that one. It's big enough. I'm just going to say do that with money. Do this one with money while you're at it. There we go. So now we have some more houses. We don't necessarily even need them. It wasn't that long ago I was clicking around and seeing if houses were getting filled up. And no, we still have a lot of kids. I think we're going to get a boom here at some point. So, and then I also wanted to make sure for our bus stop. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't put in a bus stop. Okay. Oops. Let's see, I clicked right through. Alright, so now, didn't I put in a bus stop? I would have swore I put in a bus stop. Yeah, so now everything, alright, let's... Yeah, by the way, you click right through that thing, you're going to delete whatever's behind it. It doesn't look like it wants to attach that way, but it'll attach this way. Come on, get it. Really, after all of that, it really wants to attach. Oh, this won't, or you know what? We're going to do something else. I bet you it might attach now. There we go. It's really kind of wonky looking, isn't it? But it's in there. And that makes me happy. Alright, so now my problem is my little pathway here is... Well, the whole point was to get across the street and to be able to get to the bus stop, right? So I think we have accomplished that. Spending money like it's going out of style, but how is our road doing? We're getting done the gravel. And now we need to put back in our houses. Oh, the best laid plans, right? So we can get this guy up there pretty close, I think. So let's take him all the way up there, come back a little bit. And we messed up our road again. Take him all the way up there, come back a little bit. Leave a little extra gap here so we can get a path through. Can we get another one in here? If we got rid of that, you know what, we're not going to worry about it now. We might be able to jam another one in there if we want it. There we go. So we can have a path come down. All right, now, without deleting the power lines this time, or anything else we don't need to it. Let's put in road. There you go. Way to go. Whew. Well, there we go. Now, it's just a matter of getting everything hooked up and built, I think. So, as per the usual, I think I will do just such a thing. I think I've shown you, it's just a matter of waiting in some ways. I mean, keep an eye on the money, make sure we don't drain it down too much. These expensive roads will cost us a bit more than the non-macadam roads, but it'll give me time to watch the last video. And like I said, it's, you know, for me, you may be watching them all in a row. It's sort of, you know, could be days between the episodes, depending on how real life is treating me. And, you know, you come back and you look, you go, boy, we really did get built up quite a bit in the last bit. Certainly the number of houses impressed me. So there we go. Do we have an idea how much we spent before we start spending a whole lot, or how much we made last month? Nah, we started spending a whole bunch before that. Yeah. Steel, electronic components. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. So yeah, it may take a little bit of not pause time, but like fast forward time just to get these guys with enough money. Though they're not as expensive as I was thinking. So we should have a close operation within a few months game time. So, all right, I will magically be back in like a few seconds. I wanted to start out by saying this telephone pole is not my fault. Another thing I wanted to say was neither is this one. Yeah, I think it has something to do with placing these roads or something. You know, it seems to be where it thinks the end of the road is here, but it's not. So, in any event, we are working on our final bus stop. I think you just saw, yep, there went the roller. So this road, oh, it's not completed because we didn't put up all the poles yet, but the roller rolled on it. That road's not hypercritical to our operation here. The bus stop is. But I thought we could hook up a couple other things. So we have chemical, or not chemical, why did I say chemical? Because this needs chemicals. We have I'll just read it, fabric factory. And it does need chemicals. And I was taking a look. If we come over to here and we say, okay, I want to purchase something, it costs $1.60 per ton. So if we come over to here and say I want to purchase something, it's $3.12. I don't think we're going to use enough of these chemicals. If you look, we use 0.5 maximum use per day. So, and the maximum we're going to get out of production is 5 tons of fabric. So we're only going to use a half a ton per day. And so in our list of bills, delivery for this, it's certainly not worth driving it anywhere, for sure. We could, I guess, purchase it here, but it's, what, how much less? It's the same. So it's actually more expensive to buy it from here. Anyway, well, let's purchase it from here with all that talk. I'm just going to about 1 notch full. That's going to hurt, though, for 1 ton of something. Pretty expensive stuff there. But again, we should get a good amount of fabric from it. Now, here I've been dropping off corn. I'd like to find the corn guy, maybe when we see him come by, because I think this is probably him. Yeah, I'm just going to pin him off to the side here so we can take a look at the route I think he's taking the long way. But in any event, he is getting over here. I don't know that we really need that much. Are we... Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oops. We need the connections. That's not real smart. Well, these guys are kind of busy at the moment. Once they get done this road, those paver guy... Well, you know what? The paver crew's kind of done anyway, aren't they? Yeah, that's like the mechanical last hookup. Alright, so let's just start that. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Crash the game. Alright, there we go. So at least we'll get this one going first, since it's the more critical. Once we build up some fabric. Good. So then after that, we're going to need a truck from here, right? It's kind of a tight turn for a truck. But let's go buy another covered wagon. With Rubles. Yeah, with Rubles, I'm sorry. I was thinking covered haul. You know, this one holds, moved around. Yeah, I mean... Probably don't need a big truck for this, but then it's a lot less trips if we just have them waiting here, right? Alright, so let's purchase some more. So your first stop is going to be at the clothing factory, and then you're going to come over here to a small store, and then you're going to come back here to customs house. So you're going to sit there and wait. Clothing. You're going to unload clothing. Now this leads into a tricky question. Do we want to put any clothing in here? Yeah, probably, don't we? So we would go to the small store first, and then we would store some of it into here. Even though we're not really doing anything with it here. And no, you know what? We're going to skip that. Why bother? Until we set up a distribution center, we'll just go with this. And then we don't want to load here. We want to unload. Oops. Wait either. I know you don't have to do that, but it makes me feel better. Alright, well you can start that. Now there's another more significant issue that we actually have right here. We have no power. So let's set up... I'm really liking the way this this power is laid out along this line right here. I may even run this up and then across the street this way. But first I want to take one of these. Now this one, here, let's get rid of that for a second. This one is already powering electrical view, the clothing. So it's just not reaching these three buildings. Now I don't want to be too chintzy in case I ever move something again, but at the same time, now this I'm probably just going to build El Manuel. So let's put it like in line with that other one, so if we ever kept that road straight, you know, it would be, yeah, so like there's 250, so let's do a little road, or a little ground deformation here, since that's right on a hill, kind of. Alright, so let's bring that down, and shift is what I actually wanted. We're talking about this would be where the road is. So we'll just go a little to the east of that. Since I really don't want this hill in my life anymore, I might as well just take out a little extra. And then we can do levelly. Big levelly. It's not that important. Alright, so that's... I'm happy. Alright, so let's get in a good... Okay, this electrical substation needs to go. This has to stay open. So we're talking about more or less on this line would put me, yeah, this line right here puts me in line with that. Now, how far can I go? Let's go back a little bit closer so that it, because it's a big circle, you know. After I got my line, yeah. So a little closer. Oh, it's fine again. Build you with money. It's not too expensive, actually. And you know what? We're just going to click auto build. Oh no, you know what? I like to take this off. The idea is fine, but I'm just going to kind of keep these parallel. Let's just go like here. And the reason for this is that if you don't like what you did, you can always hit the delete button. Let's go back. Let's go to the furthest. Yeah, let's get our money's worth. I don't want to do my. Well, no, it is better to turn. Well, let's go one more. Let's turn it as sharp as we can there. No, we don't have to. Just turn it. Go just go straight to like there. Building in the way. Oh, I put it sideways, did I? I put it. Heck way did I put it? I thought I put it. Put it backwards. Gosh darn it. I'm going to delete it. Yeah. Sorry guys. I blame part of it on the... Don't do it with dollars. Okay, it's not. There we go. Now I'm leaving it up a little bit from the lines. In line, you know, things are in line for one thing, but also because... we might put a switch right here, so that would work out, I hope, better. All right, so we're going to pay for all those with dollars. How much does that cost? Is it 6,000? All right, that's kind of expensive. This cost 1,000 for, but it's a little bit necessary. So now we should have. What we don't have is a bus. So let's come back over here. Now, are our guys done this? Yes, they're done that road. So why don't you start doing this road? Please don't crash. And we need to go to the depot. We're probably going to end up with 2 buses, but I don't want them to... Hopefully they don't end up right on top of each other. So we'll just start out with 1 bus and see how we make out. Seems pretty reasonable at a high speed, right? Yeah, let's go with the higher speed, whatever this is. So let's say your first stop is here, and the next stop is there. Yeah, let's go over to the bus stops here and say I only want people waiting, or workers waiting. This guy's dedicated to going to here. Where's this guy? This guy's not decided, but I hate to take too many people away. Is this guy decided? Yeah, he's not decided either. This guy's not. You know what, for now, it's a little bit of a walk. Let's send these guys to specified here. Let's go over here and just say, you know, workers. But I do want to specify that they need to go to here, here. And even numbers. Alright, so my bus is leaving. And I've got a person on it. So how many people are living in this? 44 is not a whole lot, which is why I have 3 more houses right here. And actually, I forgot about this one, which if we weren't building this, I may switch over. Yeah, say I want to get my other truck back. Okay, what just left? That was a bulldozer. Yeah, once I get off of this paving. Remember I don't know if you've watched the whole series, but remember I started off with 2 crews, and one of the reasons is that when I first started, and I think it's still a good idea, like your paving crew doesn't fit with like a good building crew, so sometimes it's good to have separate pavers. Plus, you know, down the road we might, almost certainly I hope, will be building a road off this way, and I don't need those 2 crews tied together, so. And that'll be like a road crew. As it turns out, here in town, it's pretty convenient just to have whatever. And all of that's because I'm just trying to be so frugal with my rubles there, which we're doing okay at this point, I think. Now, how are we doing here? Oh, we got a worker. And the worker made some fabric. At least there's some fabric sitting there. Now, does the fabric go in here yet? I don't see any fabric in here yet. But we're allowed to have 25. Let me take this off. And we're going to get a lot less fabric than we are. And you know what? Why don't we not allow clothes in here right now? We have our truck for waiting for clothes. This guy doesn't have any fabric, and he doesn't have... Oh, he wouldn't have any fabric because his road's not built yet. And I wonder if... Okay, good. We got more corn coming in. Nice. Yep, we got crops in there, and we got still 1 person. What is that bus doing going in there? Why is there a bus in there? What are you doing? Oh, you're dropping off for the workers. I didn't, no, you could see the confusion, I hope. Just me being insane. What the hell's a bus going into the factory for? Alright, let's move past that. Yeah, okay, so here goes our bus. 19 workers, good. That's what we want to see. And again, once we can balance out the town, and once they get done building that, should be pretty soon here. The roller should be on his way there if he's not already. Yep, there's the roller. See him? Got power, got that. I think we got everything going here. I think we're going to be making clothes. Assuming... Does he wait until he has a whole... Well, he doesn't make fabric fast, does he? It's not with 12 people. He's got plenty of crops, and he's got unlimited chemicals. How's the power? 30 megawatts. Or I'm sorry, 0.03 megawatts, 30 kilowatts. That's not 31. I guess it's a rate of his production. So, all right. Well, I don't know. Well, how many? And we need more than one. Yeah, 1.2 to make clothes. Speed this up. Yeah, okay, so now we have, still has no fabric, but does he get a demand for fabric? Let's just speed it up. Oh, look, we're down to 17,000. We're going to be done spending money for a while. We're going to be done permanently if we keep spending money like that. We're sped up, and we have 1. Some of these seem to have to build up a bit before they... Maybe he won't go until he has 1.2. Okay, let's rearrange these. We'll do it like cinematic. So there's our fabric factory. There's our... Well, it sort of blocks our warehouse, but... There's our clothing factory. There's 1.2. Why don't you transfer some? Oh, where'd you go from? Oh, you were a corn guy. Everybody's got power, right? Yeah, voltmeter. Not that I don't know you need much. Yeah, we're allowed fabric. It is dark where these other are light gray. No workers. If we ignore it, will something happen? Production stops, missing fabric. Well, I don't feel like driving it over after I built this whole warehouse for you guys. Let's see, maybe there's... Again, when you look over at the other corn one, it seems to hold on to stuff sometimes. And you would think it would be exporting it by now. Well, these guys are definitely using wattage. Is it because it's just going right in here? So that's our truck. The clothing truck. With the livestock, you can't really see. Like, it doesn't really show much. You don't need two connections, do you? I mean, that doesn't... I mean, I haven't really played with this setup much. Could we get two connections there? I think I'm shooting. Probably not. Well, we could probably come around this way, maybe. Got a lot of screens open up. Yeah, we'd have to... I don't think that's the problem. Nothing's coming out the end. Well, this guy uses a lot of wattage for doing nothing, doesn't he? I think I'm going to send twice as many people to the fabric factory. It's about close. 1/3. So send more people to the fabric factory until something happens here, one way or the other, right? Do we have to have... I'll allow clothes here too. Why don't I allow a couple chemicals? Look, I changed that to say clothes, and the fabric came in there. And now we're having production. So maybe it's the fact that you need the factory to be set up properly. Like, I don't know if I added the chemicals had anything to do with it, but certainly when it was, it seems like the second I put clothes in there, next thing you know, stuff was happening. Good, good, good. All right, so now let's take a look at our truck. Yep, and we have a slight amount of clothing going in there. Excellent. It doesn't look like much, but that's some expensive crap. Why can't I close that? Now, let's take one last look at something just for my own curiosity. Good. 3.75 tons of clothes. I think, how much clothes did we go through in a month? I don't know how long it's going to take us to make a truckload, but I'm sure we can increase it. Let's go to budget. Last month, how much did we buy from Western countries? 0.07, so good, and that's $1,300. I'm not so much worried about saving that money, but that's good. That means we'll make one truckload is months worth of our clothing at this point, so long as we make a little tiny bit. You know, we've already made 2 months worth of clothing, so that'll cut down on that bill. That also means this store will store plenty of it. Like, I'm disappointed in my meat operation because I still end up buying meat. How much meat did we buy? Sorry to be flutterbrain. 1.7. See, so even though we're making our own meat, well, that's this month, last month. See, because we don't have a delivery system, we're still shelling out $14.92, but that's not completely fair, because if we look here, we're selling that same meat for buy, sell. See, so 16. I'm sorry, I forget what I said, but we're selling it at 420. So we're really, you know, it's costing us like 40 because we sold it and didn't give it to our own people. 40 per ton. And considering that it was only for last month, what did I say? 3. So we're losing 120 bucks. But I'm not so sure that a truck running back and forth. And then the other problem is there's only one slot on this garage, and so I can't just have them sit here in the refrigerated truck, or even a little one, because it blocks the other food guy from getting in there. So, well, that's a whole story about another topic, and I think I'm gonna, you know, pretty sure that I know this video has been long enough, all things considered. Wanted to get the whole topic taken care of, but you guys get the idea. So you can already see we've got $4,000 worth of clothes sitting there, and we've only got 1.6. So getting these things sold. Now I know we're going to have a, you know, probably a pretty hefty chemical bill. Where is our chemicals? This month, imports. Yeah, there's goes yeah, so $1,500 in chemicals, but we already have the corn, so for $1,500 in chemicals, we've now got, you know, thousands of dollars worth of clothes, and I think some, well, let's see, what is last month? Yeah, we did buy the big bulk of chemicals was last month. So I just wanted to check that. All right, well, anyway, you guys, I think, get the idea with it. We have a clothing factory. Let's hope that this can add, you know, cut down on another expense and add to our profit each month. Hopefully, yeah, if daily production is 1.2, we should be able to load up a truck anyway per month, and that would be some real good cashola. I'll give you a little brief, most likely, in the next episode. I've been saying that I'm going to build a coal mine. I know this was a big distraction, and remodeling downtown was a big distraction, and this will not be a big distraction, but it's something I really need to do. I think I forget to keep mentioning it, but once I have the money, which is pretty shortly here, I'm going to build a fire station, and there's also a good chance that I'm going to build a hospital. So I'm not sure that I'm going to make an episode just to do those two things, but I'll definitely come back when we have enough money to build the iron mine and the ore processor, and hopefully even a little chunk of change to start thinking about a power plant as well. All right, well, once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, and I will be back with another one, I'm sure, because I'm just enjoying the heck out of this game. It's like a childhood fantasy. If you were a kid in the 70s like I was, oops, gave away my age, you know, we didn't have computer games at all, and if they were not much better than matchboxes in the dirt. When I was real young, there was no such thing. There wasn't even Atari or, you know, Nintendo, none of those things. I'm old. We're getting old. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.